So the first speaker, Blake Wigdahl, he's in character. He's gonna tell us a story about a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
All right, sorry, I was just back in the green room finishing up dinner. So I'm going to talk about one of the hottest topics in science out there today, and that's also one of the hottest topics that we have in our summer day camps here at Thanksgiving Point, and that is questioning a time-old tradition. Was T-Rex the Cretaceous terror that we always thought him to be? Or is he really an opportunistic scavenger circling the world looking for food that naturally died before he got there? So before we get started with was the evidence of whether he was, I want to talk about the age of dinosaurs. The age of dinosaurs, it was the Mesozoic era, and it was broken into three periods: the Triassic, the Jurassic, and the Cretaceous. T-Rex lived in the Cretaceous period, which ended 65 million years ago. Paleontologists find those bones and study them. They go out to the crime scene and dig up the dinosaur bones and look at both the bones themselves and the context. So let's talk about some of the evidence for whether T-Rex was a scavenger or predator. One of the first things that we look at is Exhibit A, the skull. The skull of a T-Rex is massive. They've got huge jaws. It's got incredible power in terms of bone-crushing teeth that allow it to definitely eat meat. We know that much for sure. One of the amazing things when you look at the skeleton, the skull of a T-Rex, is it has this amazing olfactory passages. So it has an incredibly strong sense of smell. The teeth of a T-Rex are 3 inches in length and have a serrated edge along them and kind of curve backwards, allowing the T-Rex to really mash and draw and rip and tear all of that food. So there's strong evidence that he is, but is he a predator? Now, one of the big questions out there is T-Rex's arms. They're incredibly small compared to the size of his body. If you look at the T-Rex's arm in comparison to its body, the T-Rex's arm is literally a little bit smaller than mine, with a body that's 30 to 40 feet larger than me. It has 2 claws, no thumbs, no opposable thumbs. If you look at that, comparing it to the body itself, you go, what were those arms good for? Now maybe, if he was a predator, maybe he can make up for that with that massive head, those massive jaws. So that's one of the questions out there. So next bit of evidence, we're going to look at modern day comparisons. Modern day predators, lions, cheetahs, tigers, they all use those massive claws to drag down a giant hippo. So do you need that? Do you need those arms? Maybe, maybe not. Do scavengers need those arms? We don't know. So next bit of evidence, legs, motion. The motion of a T-Rex. What's it like? They've got 2 legs, massive body. Let's look at some of the evidence to see how a T-Rex moved. The first thing, balance and speed. We've got a dinosaur that's 10 meters in length, 6 feet, 3 meters in height, and essentially the weight of an elephant on 2 legs. How fast can that 2-legged elephant move? And what is it able to move back and forth? Another bit of evidence about the legs is the proportion of the femur to the tibia. Oftentimes, the femur and tibia of a slow-moving animal are more equal. It's a little bit off proportion on faster-moving animals. So if we looked at the legs of a T-Rex and compared them to that of a chicken, they're a little bit closer. So did they run and move like a chicken? And did they taste like chicken? That's another good question to ask later on. So leg proportion, how fast could they move? A little bit slower. Another bit of evidence. Eyesight is very important. Depth perception, the eyes in the front, 2 eyes in the front of your head to be able to see how far your prey is. That's super important. Herbivores or cows, they oftentimes have their eyes to the side to see what's coming at them. So let's look at the evidence. T-Rex, massive jaws, steak-like teeth, short arms, maybe not so important for catching your prey. Balance, speed, they're fast enough to catch it. And we have an eyewitness account in 1 million years BC. So Now were they a scavenger? Strong sense of smell. They could smell for miles and miles that rotting flesh. They had bone-crushing teeth to get into the marrow of a bone, which is incredibly important for the nutrition when you're a scavenger. Small arms, doesn't matter. Body size, huge legs, scare off anybody that has already killed your food or potentially is eating your food. So the question out there, was T-Rex a scavenger? Was T-Rex a predator? That is the question of the hour in science, and one thing that we take seriously here in our day camps. So thank you. All right, I made it in 5 minutes. Do I get? You say I need a little of my ooh-la-la. So I also want to say, as a sponsor tonight, thank you for coming out down to Thanksgiving Point. I know, but they told me to talk about this for a second. So as a sponsor tonight, we're happy to have you down here. There's lots of things going down. If you haven't come down before, come again. We've got the museum, we have Farm Country, we have Tulip Festival in this April here, and we also have a half marathon race that's all the money goes towards the Museum of Natural Curiosity, which is a children's science museum that we'll be building here in a few months.
Excellent. Thank you.